Enchanted Tiki Talk is brought to you by Kingdom Strollers. Our premium stroller and crib rentals are delivered straight to your Disney or Orlando area resort. It couldn't be easier. Book yours at kingdomstrollers.com. And Mouse Pros. Let our travel specialist plan your next vacation. Our concierge level service gives you the perfect hassle-free vacation. Get your free quote from Sean or any of our magical agents at mousepros.com. And now, it's show time!
Your attention, please. One show for you to see. One for you and everyone.
Oh, look at all the people. Pay attention, it's showtime.
I am always ready, as you say, to put on the show.
My goodness, you're all staring at us. We better start the show rolling.
Wait! We forgot to wake up the Glee Club.
Aloha. Come to the Tiki Room. Get your expialidocious tickets right here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Enchanted Tiki Talk. This is episode 304 for the week of October 4th, 2019. This is the first show of October. For those who are already celebrating Halloween, happy Halloween. For those who aren't, it's just another day in October.
And it's like 80 some days till Christmas, I think I saw.
Wow, is it really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I walked into Lowe's this past weekend, and you walk down an aisle and they have half of it Halloween decorations, and then Christmas is the other half. I'm like, this is insane.
I mean, like, I love Christmas, but I am not ready for it. Not until November. I'm okay once November comes, but right now, no. I mean, now I'm just like getting into Halloween. So
yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be like 97 here tomorrow, and I'm like, I can't get into the fall and cold weather holidays. Right. It's just...
Well, like today, we're recording on Wednesday. It's 89. It was 89 degrees, but tomorrow it's supposed to be rainy and like 53. So that's a big drastic change.
Yeah, ours is supposed to, well, it's not supposed to be rainy, but we're supposed to set a record high tomorrow, like 97, 98, and
wow.
Then I think Friday the high is like 77.
See, even with those temperatures, I don't know how anybody can even think about Halloween. Like, how do you do the Halloween party in August?
Well, I mean, it's Florida, so you never really get a true fall, so I guess that doesn't really matter as much. But still, I mean, August, you're 2 months away from Halloween. I couldn't do it. I just wouldn't. I don't think I would be in the festive spirit, I guess you could say.
No, me either. And speaking of festive spirit, a couple big news things this week. I know Steve will talk about it, but is the Skyliner opening, and I know Keith got to ride it. Keith isn't here this week. He'll be back next week, and we're going to do a trip report, but I know Keith did get to ride the Skyliner. I missed it by a few hours, literally a few hours, but I hearing good things about it. Quite a few people I know that have taken it have said it's it's equivalent of taking like the monorail in terms of the scope of things. It's iconic, and people think that the Skyliner will be iconic when it's running. So
yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about how quick and efficient it was.
Right.
There was one person I saw, I can't remember, it's not the exact time, but there's like 8:55. He was, standing watching Phantasmic, and it was like 9:15. He was getting off back at Pop Century or something.
See, that's incredible. I mean,
yeah.
I would love to see them if they can hold out, they can keep it running. I would love to see it moving to all the parks and most of the resorts.
I think it's going to be obviously a much cheaper option than trying to repair or replace monorails. As sad as I say that,
right?
I don't know if the monorail would ever actually leave. They might keep it just kind of maybe from the TTC to Magic Kingdom or something. But it's obviously a more cost-effective option. Even though the cabin itself don't look like they hold a lot of people, it seems to be moving at a good rate of speed to keep people constantly moving, so lines don't back up too bad. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting down there and riding on it and seeing what it's like. I did see what I thought was weird. There was one of them they were saying something about if you weren't getting off at one of the resorts or something to those, like they didn't make it stop it, like it just kept right on going. So I don't know how they, make that note or whatever. So that would be interesting to see how if that changes at all, or what they do with that. I'll have to go back and see if I can find what that guy was actually talking about.
Maybe it was just for the first couple of days.
It could have been, because when they first did it, it was just cast members,
right?
So it might have been that they were trying to, just keep them running as much as possible and not make special exceptions and stuff. So that could have been it. I'm
really surprised that this didn't roll out to the Animal Kingdom Resort and the park at first, because that's like the perfect place where they could have tested it before they went such a large scale.
It would actually, if there's a way to do it, I can't remember how the park is laid out and everything, but if you had them, go like from Animal Kingdom, like maybe over the safari into Animal Kingdom Lodge or something like that, if that was even I don't even know if that's going in the right direction, if that's even feasible, but I think that would be cool to kind of get a bird's eye view. Obviously you would see all the cages and enclosures and stuff, but get to have that view going over the safari, I think would be kind of cool.
That would be, but I'd be afraid if you got stuck.
One of them,
the lion jumps at you.
Malfunction, fell down or something.
Yeah. No thanks, I'm good. It's like Jurassic Park all over again.
If you don't move, they won't see us.
The other big news was that Illuminations has retired and a temporary replacement has been put in place, which is Epcot Forever, and it's supposed to be here for 6 months, but I have it on pretty much good authority that it's going to stick around for another 6 months after that. So I would expect at least a year out of Epcot Forever. They live streamed it last night, as of recording of the show, which was Tuesday. And I watched it live, and I know that I guess you watched it today?
It was last night.
You watched it last night?
It was after they had originally aired, but I did watch it last night.
Yeah, so I know Keith didn't like it so much. There's a lot of people that did not like the show, of what I saw on Twitter, and there's a lot of people that did like it, and it seems to be more so the people that remember Epcot of old enjoyed it more than people who did not experience Epcot of old, because I'm like one of the type of people I when I live streamed Happily Ever After, when I watched that for the first time, I did not like it. Happily Ever After, it had taken a lot of time to grow on me. And now I really enjoy the show. I mean, I do miss Wishes from time to time, but my first initial impression of seeing Epcot Forever, I really enjoyed it. I loved the homage to all the old attractions. You hearing the Horizons theme, I was like, oh my god, I'm like, it's Horizons. Horizons. Hearing Veggie Fruit, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm hearing that. It's all these things that bring back memories as a kid. And then hearing the music from the 2000 celebration. I'm having a brain fart, I can't remember what it was called, but the parade that they used to have there in World Showcase, they brought that back too. So there was just there were so many other things. There's World of Motion and Figment and all of that, man. I was just like, wow, this is incredible. But I can understand where some people wouldn't like it, and there was some, I mean, the middle was definitely better than the beginning, because there's a lot more going on when having the kites and everything. They're flying around and shooting fireworks. But overall, man, I really enjoyed it just from being in the live stream, and I'm sure being in person, it's got to be better.
Yeah, I hope that I can get down there. Like you said, if it's supposed to be expanded or extended, I should be able to get down there and see it. I think it's going to be based on the reception they get, which I will say I've probably seen more positive than I have negative. Well, with this one, which is very surprising this day and age. Normally, it's just everybody piling on with negativity. I was kind of skeptical going in because Illuminations was very near and dear to me, but I came away very pleased with it. I thought they did a great job with it. The lasers, kind of a throwback to the original Illumination, so that was kind of an awesome tie-in. Like I said, the kites were awesome. I spent most of that part when they were flying. I was like, are those actually drones? And then I think in one of the shots I saw
the boat.
There's something in the water.
Yeah, it's a boat. It's like
it's towing around. So that was really cool, especially at the end when they, lit up and had fireworks coming off of them. So, the upgrades they did with the pyrotechnics and the technology was awesome. Like you said, the music. I could see people not connecting with the music, especially if you're, newer to the parks and don't really know what they're referencing. But it wasn't. It was kind of an upbeat whole all the way through. It wasn't something that was kind of like Illuminations. It had that middle part where it kind of slowed down and kind of got a little draggy, and people would lose interest. So, but I think this one did a good job. I especially loved the parts where they put Walt speaking in it. I think that was awesome, and the way that things were done, kind of like in the kid's voice. So it's kind of, to me, it was taking you back to your youth and being a kid with what Epcot is, and then I know a lot of people didn't agree with the whole Aladdin thing, and I was kind of thrown for a loop with that at first, but it kind of, to me, it's them trying to say this is the future of Epcot and we're looking forward to the future. And
I think that's exactly it. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that, sorry to interrupt you, but I think the whole idea is the beginning was the slow, you had the build of going through Epcot through the years of all the classic attractions that made Epcot what it was. And it's a shame anybody who's never experienced Epcot of the 80s, it's a shame, because that was the height of Epcot. It was incredible. You didn't have all these IPs, and I believe that this show is the killing off. It's like chopping Epcot off at the head, and not slowly, but just watching Epcot of old die. And I think that's where the Aladdin was brought in to tie it into the new generation of Epcot.
Yeah, I think in a way, like you're saying, it's tying the old to the new. I watched, somebody had a video of the is it Epcot Experience, I think is what they call the viewing area of the new stuff that's coming in, and everything, except for the China movie. I mean, everything was IP based. I mean, you have the Moana thing for the water. You've got Remy coming in with Ratatouille. You've got the Guardians coming in. So Epcot will never be Epcot like we thought it was. But I thought this did an awesome job of kind of tying the two together, and kind of makes me excited to see what the next nighttime show is going to be like. Especially if this one's just quote unquote temporary. They definitely set the bar kind of high to see what the next one is that they're going to have roll out.
And, it is sort of a shame that Disney's already has a couple theme parks that's got a ton of IPs in it. And it's just a shame that they couldn't keep Epcot away from that and just done something completely different, because you already had all the festivals and you had all these other things that were going on. They could have done something extremely unique as it was in the 80s and kept it going, or kept it more adult focused, but instead they're following their path to IPs with everything. But it's a shame. Epcot of old is gone, but hopefully we have some great things on the horizon.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic of what's coming in. Like you said, I wish it wasn't as IP based as it is, but unfortunately that's the world we're in today. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm kind of, I guess, hold my judgment until everything. I know it's going to take forever for them to actually get it where it's complete and all that. So I'll wait till I get to see more, and then I'll do my judging.
Yeah. So, with that, I think we've spoken long enough. I'm going to send it over to Steve for the news. Steve, take it away.
Hi, Steve from Disney Diary here. This is What's News. The new Epcot Forever Nighttime Show debuted October 1st and is intended as a placeholder until the permanent Harmonious opens next year. It's designed to be a bridge to the future. We hope it's a bridge that will lead to something a bit more spectacular than what we witnessed. Filled with fireworks, familiar music, lasers, and colorful glowing kites flying above the World Showcase Lagoon, the show replaces the 20-year-old fan-favorite Illuminations. Youthful voices of children start the show as fireworks burst into the sky. We're then taken on a musical journey through Epcot's history with themes from previous Epcot attractions, pavilions, and spectacles, including the Tapestry of Nations. While Illuminations had the globe as its centerpiece, the highlight of this show is the flight of LED kites that crisscross the sky to the music of Soarin' Around the World. The theme of One Little Spark from Journey into Imagination is woven throughout the show. At the end, it's a change in the music, and the song is A Whole New World. It finishes the show, and many people in the audience were confused. But there is a whole new world coming to Epcot.
Epcot's transformation includes some big changes.
We are so excited to debut the Epcot experience to our guests. This is a preview of all the exciting attractions and entertainment that's coming to Epcot over the next few years. And we thought, it's Epcot, we have to do it in a unique way. And so we've built this amazing immersive 360 theater with this beautiful 14-foot model in the middle of it to give guests just a taste of all the exciting enhancements that are about to come to the park.
And Michael Hudgens, the executive producer at Walt Disney Imagineering, was right. The show is amazing. It doesn't get into any specific detail of what's to come, but it gives you an idea of everything you can expect to happen in the park over the next 3 years. In addition, there are 4 PhotoPass spots with some creative sets. The third major addition this week to Disney World is the Disney Skyliner.
Transportation is not just about getting from A to B, it's about an experience.
I know that there's a lot of concern about how hot the gondola will be and what happens when it needs to shut down, but I enjoyed the ride, and over at DisneyDiary.com, I've posted the 11 things you need to know before getting onto the Skyliner. In other news, it's that time of year when Disney World increases its snack prices. A quick sample has churros up from $5.89 to $6.19. Mickey pretzels are increased 20 cents from $6.59 to $6.79. The Mickey ice cream bar, well, up from $5.39 to $5.69. And the resort refillable mugs have gone up $1 from $18.99 to $19.99. Also, Impressions de France in Epcot is closed as it gets its refurbishment for the new Beauty and the Beast sing-along that will be coming in January. And later this week, I believe this weekend, actually, the Art of Disney in Epcot will be moving to the American Adventure Pavilion shop. And finally, well, I want to leave you with some more sounds of Halloween from the Magic Kingdom.
A poem by Madame Carlotta.
Share a swing, share a slide, share the feelings deep inside, but never share a brush or a comb, or lice will make your head their home. You're welcome.
Please visit us at DisneyDiary.com for the latest news. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Disney Diary. Now, back to the Tiki Hut.
We are back from break, and I want to thank Steve for the news again. Check out Disney Diary for all your Disney news. So with that, this week on the show with Keith away, Matt and I are going to talk about attractions at Animal Kingdom. We're going to do all the parks, but we're going to start with Animal Kingdom that we just don't really, take that time to do anymore. It's just, there's so many attractions out there, and I don't feel that there's necessarily a need to do some of these attractions. But I think Animal Kingdom is a little bit harder. Magic Kingdom, there's so many attractions that you can skip and not worry about. But Animal Kingdom, it's a little bit harder to try to eliminate things and not do, especially if you want to spend an entire day there and not be online for Flight of Passage. So, Matt, why don't you go ahead and throw me out one of your first ones?
One of the first ones, and I think I'm in a vast minority on this one, especially in my family, but Dinosaur. I have no use for that ride. I've done it a few times, and mostly if we do it now, it's just so I can laugh at my wife because she always forgets where the dinosaurs jump out at her and it scares her.
That's great. How could you not want to do that though? If it scares her?
Because I don't like getting out and having to have my back realigned and everything. So it's just I don't know. It didn't. I didn't really connect with that one from the get-go. I didn't think it was that great of an attraction. And if she doesn't mention it, we walk right past it and keep going. And it's gotten here lately where she doesn't even want to ride it anymore. So it doesn't really do anything for me, especially as beating and bouncing around you do with the vehicle and everything. I don't know. I mean, I know people love it, and that's great. Y'all can go stand in line. I'll go find another attraction. It's not for me.
I like the attraction. I enjoy riding the attraction. I try to put it on my must-do list, but it's been a few years since I've been on it because the last time we were on it, Connor did not like it. So I do need to approach that attraction again and do that. So and it can be scary for young kids. I understand that, and I mean, that would be, if you're going to replace that with anything, I think that's like the perfect spot for Indiana Jones Land, and just port the Indiana Jones attraction over from California.
It's the same ride system and everything, so I would think it would be fairly easy to do. It's just a matter of retheming everything. You can almost put Dino Land in this whole thing for me.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we could do that.
I was going to say my youngest likes doing the Triceratops spin,
right?
But other than that, we really don't spend a whole lot of time. Maybe if we're hungry, we might grab something to eat there, but other than that, we just kind of blow right on past this one.
I mean, Connor does like Primeval World, but that's been closed for months now, and we don't know when it's going to reopen. So, and there's not much else there. The Triceratops spin, my kids like to do that. They like those types of rides. Dumbo, they like the Magic Carpets of Aladdin. I enjoy it too, but I don't need to go to the Animal Kingdom just to do Triceratops spin.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would, because I've never been on Primeval World. I'd like to do it at least once to say I've done it. But it's one of those where I get it and it's like a 30 or 45-minute wait. I'm like, I'm not waiting that long for this.
No, that's like a 5-minute wait, 10-minute most. That's that's an attraction you find at a fair.
Yeah, and even if we did have a short line, I don't think I could get anybody in my family to ride it with me. So I'm like, there's no point. I'll just keep on walking.
Right. So something that just really doesn't jump out with us would be the Finding Nemo the musical. My kids just don't necessarily like to see shows. Now, when we're on the cruise ship, that was a different story. But I think just for them, they're just so associated with riding something when they're in Disney World. It's hard for them to just sit there and watch a show. So it's I have nothing against it. The music is great. But it's just something, we just don't ever take the time to sit and do.
It's also difficult to do because it's 30 to 45 minutes long. I mean, it takes up a good chunk of your time. So I can see that. I mean, it's not something that we do all the time. Every third or fourth trip, we'll maybe take the time out to see it. One, because you get to sit in air conditioned for 30 to 45 minutes, but
right.
But yeah, it's not something we have to do, so I can definitely see people just, not taking it. And a lot of people, they have that thought where, well, I've seen the movie, why do I need to go watch the show?
Right.
And I can definitely see that. So.
Yeah, I understand that. I get it. You're there to really ride attractions, so why would you want to sit there and watch a show or a movie you can watch at home?
Yeah, and it would be different if it was along the lines of Festival of Lion King, where it's kind of told in a different perspective. But
right.
I mean, it's literally the movie. I mean, they have a couple original songs, but it's still the movie. So
right.
I can definitely get that. I'm going to do this the easy way. I'm just going to start going by sections. Rafiki's Planet Watch. I've never been back there.
Really?
I've never been. I've wanted to, but it's one of those things where. To honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't know where to get on the train for that.
That it's back by, I think it's next to Africa, going to Everest.
I know I've seen signs for it, but again, we just don't take the time out to go sit on a train, to go out and go to a petting zoo, or maybe get lucky and see them doing a procedure or something on one of the animals. I know there's probably a lot more out there to it, but it's just not something that, to me, is like, okay, we've got to go search this out to go do this. So I know probably Safari Mike is screaming at me and telling me what an idiot I am, but it's just one of those things that it just doesn't. It doesn't. I'll ask my boys about it, and they're like, "No, we'd rather go do something else." So,
right.
It just, for whatever reason, we just haven't made it back there, and I'd like to say at some point maybe we will, but honestly, I don't know.
How do I say that? So my kids have never been back there either. I like the train ride, and that's where it's always ended for me. Yeah. Now, with them redoing it, and it's the animation back there, and you can draw some characters, I think next time we go, we will probably make a trip out there, because both of my kids like to draw. I don't like to draw because I don't have an artistic bone in my body as far as that goes. So I will go for my kids if they want to do that, and Kelsey will like the train a lot. She loves trains, so it'll be a twofer for her. She gets to train and gets to do some art. So I will give it a shot, but it's not something that I would plan my whole day around.
Yeah, I think we would enjoy going back and just kind of checking it out at least once, again, to say that I've done it. But again, I don't know if it's something that we would repeat every time. So
another one for us has been, it's tough to be a bug. It scared the crap out of Connor last time we did it, and I know that if we won again, it would scare the crap out of Kelsey. So it's going to be a few years before we get back there. And I remember it, my nephew was the same way. He freaked out in that one scene with Hopper. Yeah. It seems to get all the kids that way, and it scars them for a long time. So we're not going back.
Yeah, it's the same with me. I don't know if, I'm pretty sure neither one of my boys have been in there, because we knew that it would probably scare them. I eventually would like to try it to see if they can make it through there, but it's not one of those where, I want to deal with a screaming kid for 10 or 15 minutes and afterward we get out of there or whatever. So it's been, the last time we actually did it, I think it was just Melissa and I. We had gone down with Alan and Blair, so it's been a little while since we've done that one.
Right. Yeah, it's and I like the attraction. I like doing it, but I don't miss it necessarily, because there's other things I'd rather do. But if I had the time to do it, I would do it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's another one of those things that I'm sure it could use a little touching up here and there. I like going in there more or less just to kind of pick out the people that have never done it before and watch their reaction when the hornets, or the at the very end when the bugs go under your seats and all that kind of stuff. So
right.
But yeah, it's one of those where we just kind of, we're not too concerned about it. So
yeah.
The next thing that the last time I rode this, Melissa and I were not married. We've been married for over 11 years. So been a little while with this one. But Cali River Rapids, I enjoyed it. I think it's fun, but I never can get in there and say, oh, let me go get soaked to the bone on this thing and then walk around the park. So I don't plan ahead and bring clothes. I don't have a poncho, so I'm not going to go get on this thing. Last couple of times that we did ride it, I did get lucky and come out dry, but I know if I keep tempting fate, sooner or later it's going to get me. So I'll just cut my losses where I'm at.
My kids love that attraction. They think it's so funny when the water comes over and you can get wet. So I enjoy it. I enjoy going on it because my kids love it so much. But I understand that. I mean, you have to be in the mood to get wet. It's not like something you can just go there and like, if I get wet, I get wet. I mean, you're taking a gamble.
Yeah, and you can, as far as the time, it's either you do it first thing in the morning and you walk around wet until you dry off, or you do it right before you leave and then you have to go sit on that freezing cold bus in the AC on the ride home. So there's not really a quote unquote good time to do that one. So maybe one day I'll remember and put on my swim trunks or something and go get on it. But like I said, I'm not missing a whole lot with it. So
right. So really, the last thing, really for me, would be the. Well, I have two, but the one would be now. I guess it's Up the Great Bird Adventure, which is the animals that fly over your head and land. The hawk or whatever it is lands on. Mm-hmm. I think I did that once. I'm not 100% sure. I remember being in the theater, but I'm probably closer to almost 18 years since I've done that. So I've got no interest in seeing that, and I know my kids have no interest in seeing that. I know Sharon's got no interest in seeing that, so it's not something we ever stop to do.
Yeah, we've never done that one. We've never done Flights of Wonder before. Melissa is, I won't say deathly afraid, but she's right next to deathly afraid of birds. So I just figured that probably wasn't a good mix with birds flying over her head. Quick short story, the zoo here, they have an area where you walk in and they have quails that are loose, and one came out, and I'm sure it wasn't intentionally chasing her, but it was going in the same direction that Melissa was, so it was funny to see this grown woman run and a quail chasing her across but yeah, we've never done it, and I want to say I saw where it was closed for some reason not too long ago, and they were acting like it might not be coming back anymore. So we might have to look into that.
I'm not sure. Do you have anything else?
No, I was looking over real quick. I think that pretty much, because I was going to mention Rivers of Light. I still haven't done that. I don't know if I have any desire. I mean, I would like to see it to say I've seen it, but I don't have a strong desire to see it because of the wonderful feedback you hear everybody else talking about. So if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I'm not that overly concerned about it.
Yeah, see, that was the last thing in my list, and I saw the live stream when the Disney Parks blog posted that, and that did absolutely nothing for me. I mean, you're coming back to me seeing Happily Ever After for the first time on live stream, and I didn't love it, as opposed to watching the live stream of Epcot Forever, and I loved it. But then again, I saw this one, and I did not like it. It just didn't do anything for me. I'd much rather just walk around Pandora and enjoy the nighttime atmosphere there and wait online.
Yeah, I agree with you. So... But yeah, that was it for me.
Yep, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, so that's going to do it for this week. First, we want to thank our sponsors, Kingdom Strollers. Get your premium stroller and crib rental at kingdomstrollers.com. Let the vacation experts at mousepros.com help plan your next perfect Disney vacation. Don't forget to check out our store at redbubble.com/Tiki Talk Podcast. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook and Enchanted Tiki Talk, Instagram and Twitter at Tiki Talk Podcast. You can also leave us a message on the Tiki Hotline, 1256 for my Tikis, 256-469-8454. And if you enjoy the show, please take the time to rate us on iTunes.
You can find me on Twitter at Women Disney Dream. That's one MIN Disney Dream, MouseWorldVacations.com, and MousePros.com. And you can find Keith in
Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter at MattGoesDopey and Instagram's InHolly579. With all that being said, Alan, take it away, buddy.
Thanks for listening this week. For Sean and Keith, I'm Alan, and this has been Enchanted Tiki Talk. Aloha.
What the heck, Matt? You just take over my spiel at the end?
Sorry, man. I got tired of you bumbling through it, and then I figured I would go bumbling through it.
Enchanted Tiki Talk has been brought to you by mousepros.com. Let us plan your perfect Disney vacation. And by kingdomstrollers.com for all your premium stroller and crib rental needs. For all of us here, I'm David Benter. Thanks for listening to Enchanted Tiki Talk.